Welcome back, guys. Today in this video we will see about keyword arguments, positional arguments, difference between the both, and about a return statement. All these are closely associated with function. So if you have not seen the previous video on functions, please do go and watch the video. I've provided the link in the cards. Earlier, we saw that if we don't pass an argument to a function which has a parameter, then it will cause an error. We refer to these arguments as positional arguments. So in the previous example, we have f name, that is first name, and l name, which is last name. These are parameters, and Mike and Ross are arguments. Mike is assigned to f name because it is the first argument and it is assigned to the first parameter. Ross is the second argument, which is assigned to the second parameter. So that's why we call it a positional argument. A pos- this is because the argument are assigned to the parameters as per the positions. The first argument gets assigned to the first parameter and second to the second, and so on. So if we pass Smith first, I mean Ross first and Mike second, then let's see what happens. The previous output was Mike Ross, since the first name comes first and next the last name. Now let's change the order in the function call. So now let's run the program. The output is Mike Ross and not, I mean, the output is Ross Mike and not Mike Ross. This is because now that we change the order of, I mean the position of the arguments, Ross gets assigned to F name and Mike gets assigned to L name, and it is printed as Ross Mike. So I guess now you would have understood the term positional argument. In Python, we also have keyword argument. The position does not matter in a keyword argument. Let's see how that works. So instead of just giving the argument as values, we are going to give a keyword. Let's say the same keyword that we use for the parameter name. Now, when you see this code, you will understand that L name, that is Ross, gets assigned to L name, and F name gets assigned to F name here in the parameter. This is because we have assigned a keyword for the particular value. Now let's run the program. As you can see, the output is Mike Ross and not Ross Mike as in positional arguments. The position does not matter as the keyword or specified. Mostly we use positional arguments, but in certain situations, keyword argument increases the readability of the code. Sometimes when we write a code which contains numeric arguments, let's say, let me give you an example for that. So as you all know, the function is defined as with the name fd with three parameters: principal, interest, and tenure, and the capital or CAP is calculated as principal into interest into tenure, divided by 100, and then it is printed. When the function is being called, we are giving the values of 1000, 8, and 5 for principal, interest, and tenure respectively. So here, if you give just if you just give the numbers, this will work as well. But to increase the readability of the code, we are giving keyword arguments instead of positional arguments. So we get an output of 400. Now remember, using keyword argument is mostly for the purpose of increasing the readability of the code. As we will be passing the code to someone else, they will understand what the value represents. Now, one more thing that you have to remember about keyword argument is that if we have both positional and keyword argument in a function, then keyword argument must always follow, that is, come after the positional argument. For example, let's say we have 1000 as a positional argument and interest and tenure values as keyword arguments. We cannot write it as interest, tenure, and 1000. This will show an error because you should always put the positional argument first and then the keyword argument. So let's so I guess you would have understood about keyword arguments and what is positional arguments and the difference between the both. Now it's time we go to return statement. So far we saw all about functions, parameters, arguments, and so on. Now, if you look at the input function, it returns a string as an input, I mean output. See, we get a string as an output. That means the input function returns a string as an output. So, how do we pass a value back to the main code from the function? So far, we saw how to pass a value from the main code to the function. Now we are going to see how to pass a value from the function back to the main code. Let's start by defining a function called addition. This function will add two numbers and send the sum back to the main code. So with the return statement, the scope of the function end. With the help of return statement, we can return the value of the sum to the program. When the function is called in the main program, let's say, and let's run this program. Okay, I mean, we have to print result. We will also comment these two lines. Clear the terminal and run the program. We get 60 as the output. We can also print the output of the function directly and make the code shorter. Let's see how we do that. Instead of storing it in a variable called result, we are going to print it directly. we will get the same result here also. So what happens when you use print to print the output of a function that does not have a return statement? Let's try that out as well. So here, let's erase this thing, I mean the return function, and run the same code. We will see none as the output. So in case if a function does not have a return statement and we are trying to print the output of the function, then it will print the default value none. As we already know, none is an object that represents the absence of a value.